Hello and welcome back to another episode of FTB Interactions. Last time we fixed our power situation by pumping oil and then eventually creating diesel, which we're burning in these diesel generators to produce power. We also set up a thermal evaporation tower, and this is to make brine, which we are turning into chlorine. And the chlorine we're combining with polyethylene to get polyvinyl chloride. These sheets, along with the polyethylene sheets, we're going to use for circuits. So that's mostly what I've been working on here. So if you remember last time I mentioned about setting up sulfuric acid again, that's what this is. I have a aqueous accumulator under here for water. I've run out of sulfur actually, but sulfur is going to be inputted here. And that goes to this chemical reactor where I'm mixing it with the polyvinyl chloride sheets and copper foils. And this is getting us the plastic boards that we need for the tiers 1 to 3 circuits. The other component of circuits is SMD components. So I have about 2,000 of each. That might seem like a really big number, but we get them like 24 at a time, I think, per craft. So the yellow ones we get from aluminium foil and thin polyvinyl chloride sheet. And these you get 4 at a time, and then you get 16 capacitors at a time, so it really multiplies. The blue ones I got from carbon dust and fine electrum wire. These are all mixed, by the way, with polyethylene fluid, but it's a very low amount, and yeah, like I said, you get so many per craft anyway. And the carbon we're getting for free from our... oops, that shouldn't be in there. The carbon we're getting for free from the mineral crystals, which we're getting from our chicken. So this is free carbon. It just costs some electrum. And then the red one is made from gallium plates and then fine annealed copper wire. This isn't just regular. So to get the annealed copper, I've built a arc furnace, and this oxygen came as the quest reward, I think. So if we look at the metallurgy tab for LV, it recommends to build this arc furnace. This wasn't too bad a recipe, but it allows you to make annealed copper with regular copper, and then you just mix in some oxygen. So I batch crafted a bunch of that, and then we also need a MV assembler to put all of our circuits together, so that's what this one here is. And then these two machines on the left here we've seen before. This is the precision laser engraver and the cutting machine to make the wafers. That's going to be for this recipe here, and to get the wafers we had a few from a quest reward, which is what I was using before. Although we are now out of that, so we have to make some more in our blast furnace. I believe that should be cooking right now. This does take 450 seconds though, so it's not very fast. But the way we get this is through some tiny piles of gallium. I don't know how many stacks, I've got like 20 stacks of this stuff. And then the silicon as well is coming from here. It's coming from the electrolyzing clay. So if we check our blast furnace, there should be maybe 1 or 2 finished by now. Oh, 4. Okay, nice. So all we have to do now with these is just cut them down, and that'll give us our wafers. And then we put them in the laser engraver, and that will do its thing. So yeah, lots and lots of material crafting to do and processing. But the next step for us is to move to HV. So the HV is going to take some stainless steel. This is the equivalent to aluminium for MV. Stainless steel is a little bit harder to come by though. So let's start off today by collecting all the materials we need for a batch of stainless steel. I would like to get the full 9 stacks of stainless steel dust and get that started, because it does take quite a while in the blast furnace. It's 93 seconds per. And then after that I think we'll move on to maybe some magic progression. So I am a little bit short on iron, so we'll have to go mining for that, but that's very easy to come by. Same with nickel. Chrome though, we can't... well, there's no chrome ore, so we have to electrolyze ruby. And I should have quite a bit of ruby somewhere. Aha, here we go. And then the last piece is manganese dust, which we get from pyrolusite, tantalite, or spessartine. And I think these 3 are found in the nether, so I've got quite a bit of mining to do, I think. I'm going to gather a few stacks of each, and then we'll come back and start processing our stainless steel. Oh, this is an MV recipe, okay. Well, it looks like we need an MV electrolyzer then. Alright, so I've been playing quite a bit here. I got a little bit carried away. So we now have our 4 blast furnaces here. I moved the one from over there. So this old blast furnace has been taken down. I went mining for several different resources actually. I got quite a few stacks of each thing, and I managed to get 6 or 5.5 stacks I think of stainless steel, which is being processed in this blast furnace right here. This first one we're going to use for steel ingots, and we're going to be using this recipe here with oxygen, iron and tiny pile of coal or carbon, and we'll get to the oxygen in a second, but that's what the first one is for. The next one here is for the silicon bowls with the tiny piles of gallium and the silicon itself. This is going to give us the monocrystalline silicon bowls. This third one I have set up for aluminium, so we're going to throw all of our aluminium dust in here. And the fourth one is for our stainless steel. So about the oxygen then, I have this chemical reactor. I think I got it from a quest reward. This is LV and this is all running off MV power. So to make the oxygen in this pack, we actually have a chicken for it. So we can use a gassy chicken and then just chemical react it on circuit 1. And that'll give us 250 millibuckets of oxygen. So I really want to get this gassy chicken, as it can be used for, I believe, hydrogen and oxygen, as well as nitrogen actually. So this is going to be used a whole lot going forward. So I think next we're going to make the gassy chicken. But first I'll just show you like the power situation here. So I had to shuffle things over a little bit more because I wanted these blast furnaces after the generators. Ideally we move these generators to maybe like against this infernal furnace, but they have like a substantial amount of diesel in there. I don't really want to break that. So I've disconnected the I've disconnected the diesel source here. So they're not going to get any more, and once they empty I'll move them. But this is connected after the battery buffer, and then it just runs along here into our MV energy input hatches for the blast furnaces. And for now everything is still manual. I just have chests on top. It'd be really ideal if I could get an applied energistics, but I think we're still quite a way off that. Wait, why are we getting silicon ingots? Oh, I had the wrong programmed circuit in there, okay. Well, we'll fix that really quick. We want to make silicon bowls, not silicon ingots. Okay, it's getting quite late for me here, so I think I'm just going to take some time before I go off and clean some things up, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow, finish this off, and we're going to do some more magic progression, I think. I would like to fully automate our clay production, as we're still using the strainers over here. So we're using these strainers to get clay still. But I have a solution from Botania in mind. And remember, we're using clay to get dust, and then electrolyzing that into aluminium dust, which is then going to be put in the blast furnace. But I am running quite low on aluminium now, so it's time we do something about that. Alright, so it's the next day for me. I stayed on way too late last night, and I started processing actually a bunch of the circuits. So we have 4 of the tier 1s, and I've made, well, it was supposed to be 4 of the tier 2s, but it looks like it got stuck on the SMDs. This is going to be good for later on. And then I've just been throwing more things in the electrolyzer. I made some more stainless steel. I also made up 4 stacks of rose gold. This is just some copper and gold dust. And rose gold is used in the alloy smelter with ender pearls to give us ender alloy. And this is what we use for ender fluid conduits. And to do more chemistry, we're going to need some more of this. I wanted to get this started, and we have a free blast furnace here. This was the steel one, and we don't have any steel cooking right now. Just before we tackle the clay situation, let's quickly make this gassy chicken. I don't know how quick it'll end up being, but so we need a smart chicken. We have this, and gelid cryotheum. Oh, there's even a chicken for these dusts as well. I wonder if we can do this. Primal chicken. This takes what? Blue vitriol water solution. Okay, nope. That's a little bit out of reach. What about this way? Brine, we set this up. Snowballs, we can get redstone and blizz powder. So we can either go for the blizz rods, and these drop from mobs, or we can get snowballs and experience in a chemical bath. And to be honest, the chemical bath sounds a lot easier than hunting for blizz. So to get experience, we can use our lotus blossoms here in a centrifuge, and that'll give us 40 millibuckets. We'll have to get some snowballs as well, actually. Oh, we can do fluid solidifier. Okay, this will be easy. Oh yeah, I also upgraded the satchel here, and I enchanted it for Holden and upgraded it to the Signalum version. This Signalum I got from a quest reward here for the alloy smelter. So this more than doubled the capacity of the satchel here. And then I just made a spare just for when I go mining and things to put ores in. Okay, so let's make our snowballs. And why is this draining on power? We're out of steam apparently. We're out of steam because we're out of logs. And we're out of logs because this tree farm isn't keeping up. You might have noticed I changed the trees up a few times to try and address this issue, but it still doesn't keep up. I've made sure the tree beacon has access to the sky as well, because I believe that slows it down if it's covered. But yeah, I don't know why we're not getting enough logs. I'm going to try to switch it to just one tree and make it 2x2. Maybe multiple trees affects the rate, I don't know. Oh wow, that is a really tall spruce tree. Hopefully that does the job though. So I don't know how many of you have played this pack, but I find myself getting distracted way too easily when playing this. Like compared to Omnifactory, I did get distracted in that as well, but here it's like a million different things to do at once. Oh yeah, this appears to be keeping up now. We've got almost a full stack in a couple of minutes. So I think this solution has fixed the farm. Okay, I got the blizz powder, the snowballs. I just have to get enough brine to mix with the redstone. It's fairly quick actually. Then we'll come over to our mixer if I remember where that is. Alright, snowballs, blizz powder, redstone, brine. This will give us our gelid cryothium. Okay, I ended up short, so I had to make some more gelid cryothium, but we got enough. It was 1 bucket we need. So this will mix up into our chicken. So I'll breed the chicken up to 10-10-10 and put them on this chemical reactor with the correct circuit to give us oxygen. And then I have a conduit under here to put into our blast furnaces. This has an input hatch on the bottom there. And quest complete. So let's move on and try to see about automating our clay. So the way I want to do clay automation is by using the Clayconia from Botania. This is going to turn any sand that's placed in world into clay. Excuse me. However, we've run into a slight issue, and that is this grey flower. So I mentioned before that these don't generate in this pack. They've been disabled from generation. And there's also no crafting recipe for this. You can get the tall version, but not the regular version, and this recipe only accepts the regular version. Normally the other way you would get it is through the floral fertilizer from Botania, but that has been disabled in this pack. So the only thing we're left with is the jaded amaranthus, I think it's called. This thing, the jaded amaranthus. This is going to grow Botania flowers around it when you give it a little bit of mana. However, as you can see, this takes Thaumcraft infusion. So I don't think there's any way around this. I think we have to set up our Thaumcraft stuff. I know we can also use Astral Sorcery for clay automation and use the floating collector crystals, but we also can't make those till we go to the moon. So that only leaves the strainers, but I don't really want to keep using the strainers. So either way, we're going to have to do Thaumcraft. So let's just let's tackle this head on. So the next step for us in Thaumcraft is to get our alchemical constructs and then eventually our runic matrix. And we do already have the Cheater's Thaumonomicon, so we can see all the recipes. We don't have to do any of the research, we just have to get the materials. So I think all of this should be doable by now. Thickened glass, iron plates, brass rods, quicksilver. Although I don't know if I've found any great wood yet, do I? Oh, we can pure daisy it, okay. One more thing I'm looking at here is the arcane stone. And we definitely will need this for our runic matrix, so maybe before we do this, let's see about the arcane stone. Every pack usually has a different recipe for this, but this one has Nacre blocks from wizardry. So this Nacre is made from Nacre fluid. And the Nacre fluid we get from gold nuggets inside wizardry mana. The quest book does recommend to automate this, so we will set this up. Aha, so in the Botania tab here, it has the Knacker automation. Another thing we need is this wizardry mana. We can eventually automate this through the chicken, or through the mana extrapolator. So we can turn Botania mana into wizardry mana. First though, we're going to set up Nacre automation. Okay, so I decided to move some things around in this room. I have lowered the floor to the same level as our Dandelion here. Before, this was all on this level here that I'm standing on, all the way to the wall. But in this space, we're going to put our conversion between Botania mana and wizardry mana here. I think that's a 3x3 multi-block. So I've left space for it here. The mana is going to come from some mana pools that I'm going to set up here. And then I've also started setting up the Knacker automation. This is basically a direct copy from the quest book. Here, if we click this, you can get a link to a quick tutorial on how to set this up. So I've pretty much just copied that. So yeah, first of all, I'm going to fill up this drum and then finish that automation off, and then I'll show you how it works. So I didn't actually realise how big this stone drum was. It's 4 million millibuckets. I don't think we'll need quite that much. But it's quite quick with the reservoir here. Oh, this guy's going to fly away. See ya. Oh, he's going to get stuck in a loop as well. This is what you get when you don't light things up. Creeper explosions and destroyed half this automation. Time to rebuild. Okay, we got it finished off here. So I'll quickly explain how it works, but the full tutorial is in the quest book. So to make Knacker, we have to put gold nuggets into wizardry mana, and it automatically turns it in world into the Knacker that we're after. And then that will all get put in this fluid tank. The only input for this, well, the two inputs for this are mana and gold nuggets, which are going to be supplied in this iron dropper here. And at some point I will automatically input the gold into here, but for now I'm just going to do it manually. So yeah, as you can see, we're making our Knacker from mana. Alright, so now that we have the Knacker, we can move on to the Thaumcraft. There is one more step, which is this mixer step with the Knacker and the stone and some more gold nuggets. I'm just going to batchcraft this for now. And then with the Nacre blocks, we combine with the V crystal from Thaumcraft, and that gets us our arcane stone. So now let's move on with the next quest in Thaumcraft. So I made a small batch of arcane stone and some Nacre blocks completing those quests. Next, I'd like to get the Essentia smeltery. We're going to need this in order to make our runic matrix work. We also need a caster's gauntlet, but let's do the Essentia smeltery first. And this looks like a fairly simple recipe. Alright, there is our Essentia smeltery. So I'm just thinking here where we actually want to set up our Thaumcraft area. And long term, I think we will do it in the base, since we can integrate applied energistics. I think we have the Thaumic energistics, which is integration with applied energistics, and it means you can auto-craft with your Essentia and things like that. So obviously we want it next to our ME system, but to contain the taint and all the other nastiness that comes along with Thaumcraft, I think we'll do it in the void actually. And then once we have everything set up and we actually do have applied energistics, I'm going to rebuild a whole Thaumcraft room in this base. I think it'll be next to our Botania stuff. Whoops. Like over here somewhere. Next to Botania. Maybe underneath we can put the Thaumcraft. But I still have a lot of building to do in here. I keep putting it off and putting it off to do progression instead. But sometime soon I'm going to have to finish the building here. And yeah, I think I'm out of V crystals, so I got some resource collection to do once again. So I'm out looking for some igneous infused ore. I've literally been doing this for 45 minutes. I managed to craft some of the stuff, so I got the alchemical construct, but it's looking like I'm not going to be able to finish this today. I also wanted to let you guys know there won't be any video tomorrow or Saturday. I am moving, so I have to get some things taken care of for that. I should be able to get something out Wednesday to Friday, and then Saturday there won't be anything. Sunday maybe. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find any igneous ore here. I don't know how I've found myself here. Okay, plan B. We're gonna use quartz slivers instead. So I've moved over everything to the void world here. We're gonna be setting up our runic matrix in the middle, I think. There we go, there's 15 to start, I guess. And that should allow us to craft this thing, the caster's gauntlet. Alright, so I need silver plates, flawed quartzite, hardened leather. Okay, the rest I have. This we'll be able to get this. Okay, so there's some V resonators, and the caster's gauntlet, and the quest. So the next quest is to craft the Runic matrix, and this is just some arcane stone and some niter, which I think I already made. Oh yeah. There it is, the Runic matrix. We just have to wait for the V to become available. Man, this thing is taking forever to recharge, the arcane workbench. There is a thing that we can speed it up with though, isn't there? The workbench charger, is this it? I think so, I'll make one of these. Okay, I got all the materials for the charger. We just, we need 200 V to actually charge, to make the charger itself. Most chunks only have about 100, between 100 and 150. Although I think these biomes here may have higher concentration, so I'll go and try over there. Ah, there we go. There's the charger. This should allow us to take the table back. Don't hit me, please. So yeah, when you put the charger on top, you can see now we have over 1,000. So we can basically craft anything we want with this. And yeah, there's a Fill-in Essentia transporter. And we need an emptying one. And then of course the Runic matrix itself. So that'll be 3 quests. Nice, so now we have to set this up, and there is a multi-block structure for it, so I think it's 4 bricks. And then we put the matrix in the middle. Oh, I was missing a pedestal there. And then I think we right click with Salus Mundus, this will activate our altar. And we're almost ready to craft. We need some pedestals to begin with for the items, and we also need to stabilize this. But to stabilize it, we need these stabilizers from Thaumcraft. This is going to require a bit more crafting, and I don't think I quite have the resources for this. So I think what we're going to do is come back on Wednesday to finish it off. Hopefully by then we'll have enough stainless steel to start HV tier as well. And HV is really where we can start ramping things up, but there's still so much to do with... In fact, I mean, we haven't even started Blood Magic yet, or DML for that matter. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for some more FTB interactions.